talk about this Pusha T thing and Drake, right? And I figured that we could get all three of us on here to speak about this, and then we'll talk about some other things too while we got you over here, Jarv. Drake just recently went at Pusha T. I put the lyrics on the screen for the people over here. He said, "My urges for revenge are uncontrollable. I know we're getting older though, yeah, but I gotta get a nigga back for that. It's a non-negotiable. It's not even debatable. All I hear is plug talk coming from middlemen. All I hear is tall tales coming from little men. If I see you, I spit in your faces. Daytonas with the green faces." Now this is coming from a leaked Jack Harlow song, and I want to know what y'all think about it, man. Like, what do y'all think about Drake jumping in the ring 4 years later?
Well, you want me to take that, or you want Coop to take it?
Yeah. You are a guest. Rap round table
Coop,
in the building.
I feel like Coop and Mike D feel the same. You get a situation where 4 summers ago, we got what we wanted as far as a battle, because you go back all the way to 2011, 2012, the shots were being fired. You go back, you hear Mr. Me Too even when it was started off with Wayne before Drake decided to get in people's business. This has been brewing for a long time. We had Exodus, was it 2312, whatever the name of the record was. Drake throwing his little shot. Drake is sassy. We know that. Pusha T been basically Clubber Lang in the Young Money movement, begging them to get into the ring. They wouldn't do it. Then Drake gets into the ring, and it's like, oh, okay. All right, Aubrey, we gonna see. The Adi Don drops. And now we're excited because Drake showed us with Meek Mill, even with Common. He has bars. He's prepared to fight. He might not win the fight. He beat Common. He beat Meek. But Pusha T is a level up. I thought we would get the bars. Jay Prince gets involved, it disappears. Then we get Pusha T trying to do features. They get blocked. We hear the shots from Drake. Pusha T tries to do other features. They get blocked. So now all of a sudden...
That's what I didn't like. It's a lot I didn't like in there, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now we rolling out. This new Pusha album is on the way. Pusha's doing the media run. He's not mentioning Aubrey. All of a sudden we get bars. Where's Jay Prince? Don't get me wrong. The bars are fire. Drake did what he needed to do. The problem is, as a rap fan who loves the sport, it's 4 years too late. We don't want to hear it, Aubrey. It's okay that you got off. You gave us a 30-piece, but it's 4 years too late.
Hold on. So it kind of feels like Mayweather Pacquiao to me. That was my sentiment. It's like, well, do I want to see it? It's like, kind of, but it's like, am I excited? Well, it's like, hell no, because the smoke should have been blown 4 years ago.
Exactly.
And so, and here's the thing about it. Since the smoke got blown, Drake's career hasn't been the same in terms of quality of music. And it's like, I'm a Push fan, but I have to look at it objectively. Well, it's like, well, what is his career? What has Drake's career been like since this smoke came up?
Right.
And then you pop up talking about revenge. But I'm going to tell you what my insightful thought is, guys. You know how these industry rap circles work. Mike and I have been talking, Jarv, about how we don't like how this pub run has been going. Because, like, for somebody that remembers Hell Hath No Fury, they didn't show up until the album dropped. Like, we got Album of the Year.
Right.
When Daytona dropped, it wasn't until you dropped, it's like, I got Album of the Year. It's been Album of the Year talking around this for about 4 months. And maybe people in the industry have heard the album, including Drake, and he's like, oh, this ain't Daytona, open availability to take my shot now. And my biggest problem with it is really Wayne is the one that's supposed to be taking these shots because he's the MC. And he's the one that ducked all this to begin with.
I mean, Wayne's pen is questionable, just as questionable as Aubrey's pen. So Wayne don't want that problem.
For a long time. So even if it's coming from one or the other, it needs to really be coming from Wayne as a lyricist if we're talking about the level. Because you're right, and this is no disrespect to Common. Common's just not vicious like Push is, even if he's as lyrically inclined. So this is a level up for Drake than dealing with Common. Like it's funny. Like I know we disagree about the Jay and Nas thing, but I echo all your sentiments so far because I agree totally with what you're saying.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here. A whole lot to unpack because there was some great points on both sides. I'm gonna go to the super chat real quick, and then I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Kay says, "Can y'all dissect the Nas and Big relationship more? I heard that they kicked it a lot back in the day. Coming up, KD3 big record on the way. KD2 Death Row East. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that for a second. Look,
maybe
this is the thing. kind of listening to what both of y'all are saying and just, observing the whole situation, it does kind of come off possibly WWE-ish, where Push is doing so much press and media. All of them have said that they've heard the album. So the album's done. What are we waiting on? So now we need something to pump this up, possibly? Is that what this is?
The music, if you ask me, Pusha, outside of Hove, like Pusha is the guy. Like when Hove retired, like Pusha took his spot. Mm-hmm. And if you asking me song for song, so far, I'm not overly like impressed. Yeah. Great. Like I don't think Diet Coke is super fire. Like it's documented. I think it's okay. Hear Me Clearly might not even be on his album.
Yeah.
Neck and Wrist is, as much as we like Neck and Wrist at the Rap Roundtable for different purposes outside of rap, we talking about going to a bar or a little spot and chilling. That's a song you might want to hear. But if we're talking about Daytona quality rap, the 3 songs you've heard so far, this ain't that.
I think one of the things that helped Daytona a lot too is the fact that we got them all at once. Yes. And if they would have thrown us all 12 of these songs at once, I think we might feel a little different depending on what the other 10 sound like. But these 2 lingering out here this long and we're sitting here waiting on the other 10,
right?
It's not a good look.
Not a good look.
Don't both of you feel like that there needs to be a level up from the next 10 songs that we hear in order for this to even be album of the year consideration? Like it needs to be a level up from what we've just heard. And I'm not like saying that like even on no shot at Jay. I'm just talking about overall musically because it's like when I think of Daytona, like think about the first 3 records. If you know, you know, The Games We Play, Hard Piano. Ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's coming in nasty. And it's like I don't hear that happening.
Well, you got to think about what Pharrell said about Pusha being a mixtape rapper. The first time I heard those quotes, I got petrified immediately because one thing he liked about Daytona was how cohesive it was. You could tell that Ye and Push locked in, even though it was only 7 tracks, there was a beginning, a middle, and the end, and it all came together. You having 2 different distinct sounds sonically coming together to make a body work, that almost never works, especially as distinct as what Ye is and what Pharrell is.
Yeah.
Right. And so, Jar, I want to say this because we had talked about this on the last podcast. Part of my problems with it is like, well, where's Chad? Because it's like when you guys made Lord Willin' and Hell Hath No Fury. Like I know the beats I heard on Hell Hath No Fury. Y'all weren't having those conversations then. And I've even told Mike this, and I don't know how you feel about it. I still think Hell Hath No Fury is a superior work to Daytona because it's more complete, more songs.
That's their magnum opus in reality.
And so who produced that magnum opus? Chad and Pharrell. And so it's like, well, if you got a problem with the Coke rap, it's like, well, that obviously hadn't went anywhere. So go get Chad because apparently that worked well with Hell Hath No Fury.
I just think that this is all remnants from the Drake Pusha battle 4 years ago. Drake basically felt like, who is this guy? I'm bigger than him. Pusha T won decisively, knockout blow. But the general consensus from Twitter was he's a nobody. Drake, even in defeat, Drake wins. So Pusha T probably feels like I need to have a bigger Q rating so the next time I drop some music, I get more respect. We got Coil Ray saying he's a nobody. Nobody listens to Pusha T. Rappers hear that. They feel away. They want more adulation.
Yeah.
They don't do this for 5 people to buy it. You know what I mean? They want more people to support.
Well, the numbers
music.
don't mean as much anymore. Hold on, let me get to the super chat because it kind of piggybacks on somewhere I want to go with this. Blue Collar Hustle says Drake is trying to come back now. It's like Jay-Z when he was trying to come back for the Nas thing on Blueprint 2. You lost, bro. Let it go. Your L is exit in hip-hop history.
Jigga and Nas traded shots all 2002. Jay ain't wait 4 years to talk about Nas.
No, but it's like, because the Blueprint 2, though, Jay was coming real hungry. I will say that.
See, but that's what I mean, though. So that's not even comparable. Like Jarvis said, it's because, like, no. Those dudes started taking shots and it started getting active. They were actively taking shots. Be like, oh, he said what? Be like, okay, a couple months would go by. And you got to think a couple, 2, 3, 4 months back then is like 2, 3 days now.
Yeah.
It really is. So you would hear, like I told Jar, me and Mike just talked about the fact that it's like people have this idea that like Summer Jam happened and either happened like a year or 2 apart. It's like it happened in a 6-month span where it's like you got Summer Jam, Stillmatic, Diss, Takeover, Ether, and Super Ugly. You got all 5 of those moments in 6 months in rap in a time where it wasn't going digital like it is now.
Exactly. So can't forget all those times when they would go to Hot 97, the little subs that was being thrown on the Flex freestyle.
The
There was a lot of
freestyles.
bars, the clue tapes. There was a lot of bars being tossed back and forth.
Well, I think where Blue Collar Hustle's coming from is the fact that I think that these numbers just ain't enough for Drake anymore. Drake wants the credibility. And the only way he's going to get... You can't undo the L, right?
Right.
Not 4 years later.
Drake has to rap. He needs to give us a rap album before we talk about credibility. We ain't get one of those yet.
You don't get the skip. Oh, you don't, Mike. We just talked about the quality of music stuff with the whole Black Star thing. This is what I mean. Well, you don't get to skip steps and be the hit maker, the hook guy, and chase the fame, and then pop up and be like, I want street cred as a rapper and a dope lyricist. It's just like, well, you didn't care about that at all. And you got waxed by one of the best street rappers and lyricists ever.
You had
so nobody
listens
to you anyway. It's like you've had plenty of opportunity to prove you're that guy and to be that guy. And so it goes back to what Jar said. It's like, well, nigga, you got to make a rap album, like a rapping ass rap album. The guys at the rap table, and according to hip hop, we're gonna talk about on some rap shit. It's like, yo, did you hear when Drake? Like, cause he has moments like that where you know he's capable, like 0 to 100. But we don't have an album of that.
Man, he hears what J. Cole's doing right now.
Yep.
He's not Cole.
Yeah. J. Cole's his guy. He's his peer. And he hears what J. Cole's doing on all these records, and he's spitting.
He is, but he can't do that. He can't.
Everybody's pen is leveling up right now. Nobody want to hear this singing. We don't want that. You got to rap.
Yeah. Now, if you want to continue to be on the pop charts, cool. But you are, like you said, Jarv, you already took your L from Push. You can't undo that. This is too little too late. Now, I hope that, do y'all think that Push should respond or just leave it alone? Because I don't think he should.
I think it's in his nature.
I want the boss.
Yeah, I think it's in his nature to respond. I don't think he doesn't know how not to respond because he's old school in the fact that he just digs the competitive nature and fervor of it. Like, he's one of those guys. It's like, no, he likes the fuck you competition idea of it. And so, like, he's with it, like, just because. Like, he's in the competitive spirit of it like that. He's old school. Like, he's like Nas and Jay in that sense. It's like, no. Those dudes, and I've told people this, it's like, if you go listen to their records, they take shots at a lot of guys. They really don't let any shot slide. They don't let any shot slide. Like Nas is just more seamless with it. Jay's like, I'm king, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Nas is like, da-da-da-da-da-da. But they're doing the same thing. They don't let no shake ass. Push is the same way. He's just overt with it, more like Jay and not subtle with it like Nas, but old school competitive in that nature.
Well, let me ask you this.
I mean, and if you listen to rap, like Drake and Pusha never stopped taking like shots. It just wasn't as overt. So I fully expect a Pusha bar. It might not be a whole song, but there'll be a couple of bars dedicated to that man because he has to. It's for the love of the game.
Well, if the album is done, he might as well put a bonus joint on there real quick. On some no Vaseline type shit.
That's probably why we haven't gotten the date. The invoice cleared to talk about the WWE talk. Maybe the good music invoice cleared.
Yeah.
The record leaked. Now Push can drop his response and we can talk about it.
I was about to say, I know there's some already body you shots waiting on this album now because of how long that it's taken.
Well,
I know there's got to be some already bodied you shots.
Let's keep it real though. If Pusha drops a freestyle or just a record or whatever, and it's addressing this, that'd be better and more promo than any of these interviews that he could ever do.
So here's my problem with the rollout, and here's how I know that Drake's heard it. And I'm not being funny when I say this.
Of course he's heard the album.
Hold on. Didn't Charlemagne say that he heard it?
Yeah.
Then Drake's heard it, and that's why Drake's taking these shots, because Push is the type of dude, and Jarv knows this too. That's what I'm saying. Well, he's always taking shots. Drake's probably heard the album. There's probably already some shots on there where he's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's in his way.
Well, we just lost Cool. But I mean, I agree with what he's saying. I think that this guy, that middleman talk, basically trying to say Push is a fraud. He's been running with that narrative for about a cool 2 years. Push is not gonna go for that. And it's just like most of rappers, when they look at Drake, they don't respect him. We've heard all the stories.
Yeah.
Like, you can't talk a certain way to certain people in that space and not expect a response. And if like you said, if Charlemagne heard the album, if the people like Ebro heard the album, if Drake and Kanye have kissed and made up, of course Aubrey heard the album. So we know this is all a work. It's a work. We know it.
And this is Drake's way back into the rap credibility side of things too, But I just don't think this is going to work out well for him in that sense.
No,
And because the thing about it is, Pusha is
what was
comfortable
considered
where
great
he
rapping
is.
by Drake, everybody's nicer now. So it's going to be tough.
The thing is with Pusha, he's comfortable where he is in the rap world, right? Drake is who he is in the pop world, but he's not comfortable with how he's thought of in the rap world. And at this point, like you said, everybody got bars, so it's too late to change any of that.
Well, you want to know what happened? The pandemic happened, and real rap and lyricists and MCs popped back up, and it invalidated a lot of this industry pop, sing-songy bullshit because the dudes who've been outside during this pandemic have been on some rap shit, which has turned hip-hop back into that. I think all three of us are happy about that, but guys like Drake suffer when moments like this happen in hip-hop culture. And as funny as it may seem, it seems like people like Kendrick are suffering during it too.
Well, with the clubs closed and no bars,
I don't know.
you couldn't
Kendrick
go
came
out.
out last year, gave us a fire verse and won a Grammy. Even if we don't care about the Grammys,
you think that was a fire verse?
The song was really good.
That's not a fire verse.
You like that verse, Jar?
Fire verse?
You thought the verse was fire?
Listen, cool. I understand. When you say a fire verse, I feel like you value the verbiage more so than the breathing, the flow, the voice control, etc. From watching this show, I feel like you value lyrics more than everything else. When it comes to Kendrick, I'm guilty of saying this. Be clear. I don't have a Kendrick quotable. I don't think Kendrick is one of the greatest lyricists of all time. I think his strength is his voice, his flow, his pocket work. I think he abuses beats with the pocket work. But bar for bar, there's more to be desired. I think what he did with the flow alongside his cousin was very impressive to me.
Okay. So if you want to talk flow, first of all, you're absolutely right. I'm more focused on verbiage and lyrics, and then I start breaking everything down. Like we were talking about Pun. One of the reasons that I love Pun is because I think he's the best guy next to Cool G Rap at compounding high-level multi-syllabic words and holding your breath while doing it. Like, that's what I mean, where it's like we really didn't get to hear what Pun could do because I thought next to G Rap, he was best at that.
You know what?
Including Lupe, because Lupe is really dope at that too. So you're right. I look at things like breath control and cadence and stuff like that after I hear your verbiage and lyrics. You're right.
You know what? I'm kind of more into, I know this is going to sound stupid, but I'm into if it sounds good first, and then I'm going to delve into the lyrics. And for me, and I fuck with Kendrick. That verse didn't sound good, man. It just sounded like a bunch of yeah. It was like some Eminem shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's slanderous, Mike.
No, Mike don't like it at all, Jar.
I'm not going to be riding around listening to that.
Wait. Time out.
He thought it was trash.
Y'all killing Kendrick like that? And I
no, not Kendrick in general. Just that verse.
On my head. This is ridiculous. Wait a minute.
No, just that verse. Not Kendrick in general. I think what Kendrick does, man, it's kind of like when Nicki gets into all those voices and all those different, like you're doing too much, man. Just
so
rap.
you didn't like Busta Rhymes, Mike?
I love Busta.
So what we doing?
It's not the same, man. But you know what? Hold on. Let me rewind. I love Busta on ELE.
Mike.
I love Busta on ELE.
For a second, because when he said Busta and said something about the voices, I kind of felt something inside right quick where I was like, I hadn't thought about
Busta was all about the voice and the characterizations of his work.
Busta could spit though. I think Busta had the other part about Kendrick, his voice isn't strong. And I think Busta had a strong voice.
Lamar, y'all hearing this, right?
Hold on. Jar, you said something about how you don't feel like Kendrick has any quotables. You don't feel like feel or element off damn or quotable?
You know what? It's probably the New York bias in me. Like, what I think are bars, when I hear Kendrick rap, that's why I always gravitated more towards Schoolboy. I felt like Schoolboy said things that were harder to me.
Schoolboy
yeah, he fucks with Schoolboy too.
Rapper. He's more of a rapper.
He's a rapper's rapper, yes.
Yo, Clayton says with the super chat, he says all the J. Cole features from the past 6 months are better than anything off of Certified Lover Boy. Drake can rap, but right now he's on autopilot. He ain't got no quotables on Certified Lover Boy, and like somebody else said in the chat,
Certified Lover Boy is not a good album.
No,
it's bad.
You can't jump from Certified Lover Boy to want to jump in the ring with Pusha T 4 years later.
Hold on, Certified Lover Boy was late summer, correct? Early fall?
Something like that. I don't even remember, man.
This is what I mean. It's like so it's like 8 months later you want to be a battle rapper with street cred. It's like you just released an album called Certified Lover Boy. What are we doing?
Because nobody's talking about Drake, so he got to insert in the conversation somehow. We talking about Benny, we talking about Freddie, we talking about Cole, we talking about actual rappers here. Yeah. Aubrey feels even his man Jack Harlow getting some rap love. The girls love him some Harlow.
Is on the cover of Rolling Stone right now.
There you go.
The cover of Rolling Stone. I walked by
Quando Harlow. You know what I mean?
I was literally in the grocery store with my daughter yesterday, and I walked by. I was like, "Is that Jack Harlow on the cover of Rolling Stone?" I was like, "What the fuck did he do next?" All right.